If you live in Germany, then please avoid becoming a victim of this scam, which works like following. Out of nowhere, someone knocks on your door. You open the door, and there are these innocent looking guys who'll convince you to sign some kind of contract which you will later regret. And if you're thinking, why will I sign a contract from a guy who shows up at my doorstep? Those guys who show up at your doorstep are really, really good salesmen, like creme de la creme kind of salesmen. And guess what? It is difficult to prove this illegal because you did sign a contract and now you have to pay whatever fees you agreed to as per the contract which you signed. These innocent looking guys are usually scammers, or let's just call them dishonest salespeople who show up at your doorstep pretending to represent your current internet, electricity, or some other utility providers. They offer to change or upgrade your contract, often claiming they can provide better rates or improved services. However, their real aim is to trick you into signing a new, often very expensive contract, or they just want to steal your personal information. Here are some red flags which you can look out for. The first red flag is that these guys show up unannounced. No one shows up at your door unannounced. A friend of mine in Germany told me this golden rule when I was new in Germany. Rohit, anyone who wants to sell you something at your doorstep is there to scam you. So don't buy anything or sign any contract with salesmen who show up at your door unannounced. These guys who show up at your doorstep will say they represent your service provider. Yes, they lie, but there will be an ID around their neck which will be from a different company, and you won't notice the ID because you are a good person and you think there are no scammers in Germany. The second red flag is that these guys are awesome at building pressure. They'll convince you you have to sign the contract. Do you remember the character of Leonardo from Wolf of Wall Street? Yes, that's how these guys will talk to you. The third red flag is that these guys will very casually ask for your personal information. They will not say, tell me what your account details are. They'll say stuff like, show us your current contract with your current service provider or show some other document. Then we can tell you if we can give you a better deal. Once you show them one document, they'll ask for one more document and one more. And in no time, they'll know much more about you than Mark Zuckerberg or Sundar Pichai. Of course, they are going to promise really good savings or benefits if you sign a contract with them. And if you ask for their identification, they'll show the ID that is hanging around their neck, and you cannot find much information about them from those IDs. If you are looking for tips to avoid falling for the scam, then I would listen to what my friend had told me. Anyone who wants to sell something to you or ask you to sign some contract at your doorstep is trying to make a fool out of you. So, what should you do if such salesmen show up at your doorstep unannounced? Please politely refuse their offer and close the damn door. The more you talk to them, the higher the chances that they'll somehow convince you. And in case you are too polite to close your door without listening to the offer from such innocent looking salesmen, then these tips may help you. Do not sign anything immediately. Never sign any documents on the spot. Take time to review and verify the offer. Please ask for identification. Request to see some official documentation, identification, or credentials. Legitimate salesmen will always have proper ID and they will never hesitate to show it to you. Please verify with your current service provider or the new service provider they seem to represent. Contact them directly using the contact information or their official website to confirm whether it's really true or not. I will never share my personal information with guys who show up at my doorstep unannounced. Please avoid giving out personal details, contract information, or bank account numbers to these salespeople. There is nothing wrong in requesting documentation. Ask for detailed written information about the offer, including terms and conditions, and take your time to review it carefully. Please research the offer. Compare the offer with current market rates and services from your provider. Sometimes salespeople may exaggerate benefits to close the deal. Sometimes these guys will say that they represent your current electricity, internet, or some other kind of service provider. And they'll say there is a new offer, you can sign it. Don't sign. If you want to sign, go ahead and sign, but you can always take a day or a week or a month to check whether these guys were actually from your service provider or not. And then maybe think about it. And then if it really makes sense to you, then you can do whatever you want to do. So please be careful. Don't fall a victim to such stupid scams.